What's going on, guys? This is Elias with the No Sabo Podcast, and I'm here with my crew.
Iberis.
And John.
And John.
So what happened last week? You guys didn't film?
No.
Dropped the ball because of you.
Yeah, that's my fault. I'll take the blame on this one.
Weren't we just talking
comment,
about, we haven't. And you were the one saying, we haven't, we've been done so good. We haven't missed a day. And then boom.
He's going Hollywood on us now. Yeah.
Last week was a mess, but I got everything figured out now. Yeah, because I was like, damn. Yeah, I remember I was like, oh, shoot this day. And then I was like, oh, fuck, that's not going to work. And then we talked and none of our schedules worked. We were like, fuck. Yeah, so I take full blame.
She didn't even wait 20 seconds to call you out.
No.
That was quick.
I know. It is, though. It's good, though. But, yeah, it won't happen. Oh, well, I can't say it won't happen again. But I'm not, it shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't be an ongoing thing.
No.
Yeah.
I got everything. I had to print off my schedule, and then I color coordinated. I was like, oh, shit, I do have time here. And then I moved things around.
There you go.
And then, yeah.
There you go.
So now we're here.
Nice.
At our new schedule time, which actually works better because then it actually gives us more time to edit the video instead of that night of.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, that should help a lot.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do a double episode to make up for last week.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We can.
Maybe.
Not today.
Next week.
Next week. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to do another. I'm finally going on vacation.
Nice.
Yeah, in
Ya
December.
empezaste.
I know.
Otra vez.
He's gone already. I'm telling you, he's going Hollywood.
No.
Going Hollywood.
I wish I could go Hollywood, but then I don't know.
It's not all that.
No, but you do get to play with the top of the line equipment.
Bunch of crazy people in Hollywood and
Fakes, huh?
and trash and
Talking about fakes, politics today. I'm just kidding.
Oh, shit.
There's a lot on the docket today. I did want to start talking about because we mentioned 2 weeks ago about we were going to go to was it before or after?
the mayoral
the mini-
election.
I think it was before. And we were going to talk about how we were able to listen to
It was 2 weeks ago because it was exactly.
But the Guy Fire thing was on a Friday, right?
I don't remember.
It was 2 weeks ago because the voting was last week.
It was after the podcast. It was on a Thursday.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
was.
we
It was the
recorded
30th.
the podcast right before we went to the meeting. We were able to listen to them. So I want to talk about that because that was crazy. And then I want to talk about your guys' thoughts on the 50-year mortgages. And then I want to talk to you guys about what do you guys think about the government shutdown? But first, let's talk about the politics. I mean, the mayor thing. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the three candidates?
I'll let y'all go first since y'all are from Idaho Falls. My candidate, my Boyo won.
Technically Ammon, so I didn't even get to vote for them.
Oh, damn. I'm technically Iona, so
So did you vote for Mike?
no. Fuck no.
Oh.
No presidential campaign. Mayor campaign. Actually, to be honest, I don't know where I'm at because I'm borderline Iona. We have to vote in Iona at the Iona City Hall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of weird. But no, I didn't. I didn't even know who ran for Iona, to be honest, or what Iona is. But listening to the three, because they were basically touching real estate topics, right? Mm-hmm. And their thoughts and stuff like that. And so there was this young guy, I think his name is Chris Ashcraft, I think.
Yeah.
And then there's the female lady that's Lisa Burtonshaw.
Yeah.
And then there's Jeff Aldridge,
something like that.
Yeah, and so what board is Lisa on? I can't remember the top of my head. Is it just the
Was it city council?
city council?
Yeah.
That's what it is. So yeah, just kind of putting into what is it called? Experience. I guess she has the most experience, and I think that's why walking into it, I'm like, oh, she's gonna win for sure by a lot. Just because the Jeff guy is more like an IT guy, I feel. And then
He's a business dude.
Yeah, he gives me solar vibes. Listening to him, the man talks like the people that pitch solar to you. And then the younger guy, he doesn't really have any experience. He's just
Está muy verde, huh?
yeah. But personally, walking into them, I really think the younger guy, give him maybe a lot of years, and he'll probably be really good.
Give him a lot of years.
A lot
Yeah,
of
because
years.
it's hard to say give him a couple years because he's not going to be involved in the next couple years. But if he did,
But he could. I mean, he could be part of the city council in another aspect and gain, experience and grow that way. And, but if he takes this loss as like, well, then I'm just going to
Right.
go in another direction, then that means that he never really wanted it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, true. I do think he has a lot of potential, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's just because he's young.
I appreciate his age. Like he's doing it for the future and he cares. He was just up against, two candidates that I felt were. It's interesting, right? Like Lisa, people don't want the same stuff to be going on in Idaho Falls. They think it's being overdeveloped. They think this and that, and they kind of. She was in city council. You're a part of that. So if you vote for her, you get the same. Jeff is definitely the outsider. The young guy, I thought, if you wanted someone local, homegrown, that wanted the best for the future of the city, that's probably the dude you vote for. But because I'm sure a lot of people felt he's too green, he's too young, you're left with, and this is from the outside looking in, I'm not from here, but do you hire the outsider that wasn't born and raised in Idaho, or do you hire the one that's been here their whole lives and has led the city to where we're at? And not a lot of people are happy where Idaho Falls is at with the developing. But as a developer and someone in the real estate market that knows the demand is here and going to continue to grow, I think it's important. And I don't think cities will ever be ahead of development. Just the way that funding mechanisms and stuff work, they always have to play catch up. So
I feel like especially like in small towns, people are so against growth.
oof,
But it's like, bruh, wake the F up. Like everywhere you go, it's growing.
yep.
So it's like we need to like be able to grow with the city and actually get to where we need to be and like embrace it, instead of like kicking and screaming and I don't want growth or change or whatever. So and I agree to an extent about, Lisa, how she's currently part of the current city council and people think it's going to be the same. But I don't think we should put her solely in that basket and say, oh, she's going to continue what they've been doing. I would hope that she has her own ideas in her own mind. And once she's given the opportunity for her to run things the way that she wants, and I'm speaking this on anybody, right? I hope that she's able to put in her own spin on things and stuff. Because maybe she also doesn't agree with some of the things that have been currently going on, but it's not like she has the power to change that from the position that she's currently in, But that's just my 2 cents. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not just saying that for Lisa. I think of just anybody in a position of like, maybe she started in a different position in city council. She's been working her ass off to get to where she's at now to try to get to this. And for someone that has no experience to come in and be like, I'll be the change or whatever. And then it does suck, because it's like, I have all this experience. I've put in the time. I put in the work. And now I'm being told no because of my, predecessor or whatever, right? But it's kind of like when you were thinking about selling, right? It like somebody could have said, oh, well, it's still going to be evolved. Is it still going to be shitty? You know what I mean? But you can't think that way because somebody else could come in and be like, completely change it up with their own ideas.
Yeah.
Just because they were already under you doesn't mean that they're going to follow in your footsteps and do exactly how you ran things, right?
Yeah. And where none of them have been mayor before, experience is great, but it's like getting punched in the face, right? Like you're still going to have to learn how to deal with what comes ahead. So, yeah, it's an interesting race for sure. And, Jeff winning or getting the most votes was super surprising to me. I think, the whole East Idaho News, LDS Church kind of question. A lot of people didn't think it was fair, and a lot of people thought like, oh man, this is where he lost it. But I think what they said 25% of the community is LDS. Like, doesn't it sometimes feel like it's a lot more than that?
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot more.
I thought it was, I thought we have
I thought they said only 25% showed up to vote, like of the community.
Oh no, I thought I read something that like the LDS population is like 25 to 35%.
No way, dude. That's gotta be higher.
We have more Mormons here than
For
Salt Lake.
real. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's
Yeah.
gotta be higher.
Now I gotta ask Rock.
which is crazy and kind of sad that those were our three best options to run for mayor. You know, like we get one lady that's has experience in like the city, and that's it. Like you're telling me out of everybody that works there, only one person's like, I'm gonna step unless hear me out. This is like my conspiracy is like it's so freaking like not corrupted, but like he's like, all right, we're gonna have this person run, and nobody else can run. But I doubt it. Well, but you never know. Clip this.
I
Clip
mean,
this.
like in Ammon, there was only one person.
Really?
Yeah, and like there was not opposing.
You read the comments in like the city pages, and people are pissed with our current mayor. Like they hate what's going on. But then I'm like, so if you're so pissed, then why aren't you going and voting for someone?
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. That I'm pretty sure that I read that it was that only 25% of the community showed up to vote. And so to your point, it's like you can't be talking your shit and being pissed about what's going on when you're not showing up and casting your vote. Same goes for the presidential elections, right? Like there's a lot of people pissed, whatever, but then it's like a lot of people don't vote. So you don't get to be mad when you didn't participate.
Yeah.
What did it say?
About 53%
Yeah, but
in Idaho Falls.
Are Mormon?
Yeah.
Damn.
That East Idaho News article, or maybe it was Local News 8, they did an article on East Idaho News, but I thought they showed a lower percentage, but 53 still, that's actually still kind of surprising.
me too. I was going to say, I thought it'd be closer to like 75 at least.
Damn, that's crazy.
But,
World's changing.
Oh, you thought the numbers were higher?
I thought they were higher. Yeah, it felt like 80%. Yeah.
of LDS here.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah, this is, I guess this is the first time I've ever like been interested in like a mayoral campaign.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the one in New York, that shit is like
Yeah,
huge.
Mamdani.
Huge.
Oh, yeah. What'd you think of him?
About,
Mamdani?
it was basically two Democrats running, basically Cuomo and Mandani. So
No, there was a third guy. Otro viejito.
yeah.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's that one was weird for me because I mean Republicans spent so much time calling Cuomo a crook and crooked, and then all of a sudden Mandani's running, and all of a sudden like Republicans
wanted
are wanting
Cuomo.
to win. So
No shit, because he's corrupted.
yeah, I mean it's it's New York City, so it's like I don't know. They voted at they were like 70% Democrat in 2024, so basically had two Democratic mayors running. I don't know if I have a strong opinion on. I know there's people upset because he's Muslim, right, or something like that. But I don't know. It's like we gotta wait and see now. But it's NYC. I don't know.
You want to talk about young? He's young. He's 2 years younger than I am, so I'm 36. He's 34.
34. Yeah. It's who the people wanted over there.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't think, like, for Chris here, because how old is he? He's about probably around that age, I would assume. I don't know.
He's got to be older than me.
He looks like in his 40s.
Chris or Jeff?
Really?
Jeff,
Chris.
Jeff.
No,
Oh,
Chris.
Chris is probably like mid-30s.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, because you mentioned age, that he's young, but I don't think age really.
I think he was too respectful.
I don't know. I just think like he
Listen,
lacked
bitches.
he lacked
First off.
experience. I just think he just lacked experience, whether like it was in politics or if he was doing something else, kind of like Jeff, because
Yeah.
Jeff lacks experience in politics. However, he has experience in other aspects, and that's what people were gravitating towards, and so I just think for Chris, the age doesn't matter. It's the lack of experience in leadership, I should say.
Yeah.
I think the way you look at it is like, okay, you don't want to vote for Lisa, and then you got two options. Like, you don't really care who you're gonna vote for as long as she doesn't vote for it. Because, like, dude, I read so many comments over the past few days how people are so pissed that they don't want her either, just because the same, like, oh, they don't want her
The
to continue.
stigma, yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, you're like, oh, do I vote for the old guy or the young guy? Most people vote for the older guy, and even if there's no thought to it, I feel like I thought she would have won by a landslide. To be honest,
I thought she was gonna win. I like what Jeff would say, but I also understand, and this is me being born and raised in Idaho. Like, it'd be cool to have someone born and raised in Idaho be the mayor for an Idaho town, but it don't always happen that way.
He definitely turned off my brain when it starts sounding like a friggin' Solar Kid. Like, the same pitches, the same, like, I was like, bro, that's not gonna solve our problems.
Yeah.
Like, it's great that you can create morale and stuff, but, like, goddamn, like, that's literally all he sounded, and I feel like that tuned me out the minute he started talking about, like, I was like, damn.
And it goes back to, do people believe in him, or are people just tired of the way things are and they feel like Lisa represents the same, you know? And that's the hard part. But it's cool that we're, you know, talking about it. I endorsed a Blackfoot candidate and then got accused of endorsing him because he was going to pass my development. So it gets kind of wild, and you start to see how some people, the shit that they dig, you know, and like throw out, it's like, wait a minute, that's complete bullshit. But like now I see how it can work on a small scale to the bigger scales, and it's interesting for sure. It's fun.
Did your guy win?
Yeah.
Did your development get passed?
I mean, you know, honestly, it got passed, and then the city made an error, so we have to do the public hearing again. So now, like, you know, and again, everyone has the right to speak against it, you know, but we have property rights, and we're dezoning it and trying to do what the zoning allows us to do. So it's going to be interesting. I know, it's just that they suck. I had to be escorted out by a police officer, which I don't think it was necessary, but there's been some pretty bad stuff in Blackfoot as far as like with developers. And I mean, there was one with a friend of mine that, I mean, the dudes were kicking his chair and he was sitting in the front. Like, he almost got jumped afterwards. So,
dang, what happened to the city, the greatest city of the world, huh?
You know, it's
ghetto.
It's wild. And even the cop was like, "Yeah, I gotta, you know, walk you out." Because I went to that meeting where shit got violent, and I didn't know. I don't want to say violent, but I went and spoke for it, and I was getting heckled as I was like done. You know, so people are passionate about their stuff, but just nobody wants anything built in their backyard, but they're not going to buy the land where it can be built, and they just want to be able to tell you what to do with your land, which I understand. But also, like, I use the example of my neighbor, Quincy's aunt and uncle, who own the field behind us. They plant corn every year. So, like, we have these beautiful views of the horizon and the sunsets, but once that corn's up, it's like you're living in the Signs movie. Like, you don't see shit.
Yeah.
Like, I hate it that he plants it there, but also that's his land, and I'm not gonna go tell him not to plant.
Yeah.
You know, so it is what it is.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, but Democrats got a lot of victories in the mayoral races, and did they lose the shutdown or did they win the shutdown? What? I'm not really sure. What?
I think it's.
I don't know that I see it as Democrats or Republicans winning or losing a shutdown. I think as a country, we're all losing in the shutdown.
Yeah.
Because we're all hurting because of it. So I don't think it's like, oh, they're winning, they're losing, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I just think it's my personal opinion. I think it's the Republicans throwing a tantrum because they're not getting their way. And Democrats are holding them accountable for it. And so they're like, no, we're not going to give you that, you know, because the way that I understand it, and this is me, right? But it's like, didn't the Republicans want to get rid of the, ¿cómo se llama? The Obamacare, not the
Healthcare,
but it's not Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. They want to get rid of it, but the Democrats are like, okay, so what do you have in place for it? Because we can't just get rid of it because there's a ton of people that depend on this healthcare. So what do you have? And they still don't have a replacement. All they say is like, well, the Affordable Care Act is horrible. It's bad. It's expensive. Okay, cool. So what do you have in place?
Yeah.
Like, what is your plan? Because we can't just cut it off completely. So what you got? And then they just keep saying, no. It's expensive. It's expensive.
Yeah.
And because the Democrats aren't giving in to them canceling it, that's why they decided to shut down the government. No?
Yeah.
That's how I understand it. I could be wrong.
The one thing I'm learning about the political side is like the Republicans can say, and you see this on both sides, this is expensive, we're wasting money. But again, like, where's the solution
Exactly.
to it? You know, I look at the immigration, everybody's been bitching about it for the last 50 years. And it's like, and right now, you know, we were told, you know, we're going to deport the criminals, the bad ones. And it's not necessarily happening. So now people are like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on? This is crazy, you know. And even like, it's so bad that ICE people have to cover their faces, because if they get doxxed, then their lives are going to be threatened, you know. So it's weird. But to me, it just felt like when I'm looking at politics today, it feels like the Democrats are fractured. They're kind of trying to look for leadership. And even on the conservative side, they're fractured. Like, if you look at, you know, everything from Charlie Kirk and all like the most influential conservatives, like, there's a big battle right now
I think
side.
it's because on the Republican side, there's a divide within themselves too, where it's like you've got the MAGA Republicans and then you got like the OG conservative Republicans, and that's two very different things.
Yeah. You have the American first crowd, and then you have like the people that think like Israel first. Israel right now is a huge dividing.
Careful now, they
thing.
listening. They gonna get your ass.
I know it's a huge dividing topic on the conservative side, which is.
I rebuke that. I'm not saying anything on that. That's him.
It's like, I don't even know him.
Yeah, who is this? But that's a big, you know, Ben Shapiro and Tucker Carlson are kind of going at it. It's just kind of wild to see. To see there. What's dividing the Democrats? Like, and I think that's the biggest difference is like, because people are mad at Chuck Schumer. People are mad at the Democrats that voted to, you know, move forward with or end the shutdown. And it's just like, I still think the Democrats are still very anti-Trump. And I think the conservatives are starting to kind of dig deeper into why do we send so much money to Israel? You know, why are we not America first? I thought this was about America first. So it's
like,
super
didn't he just send so much money to, where was it? Argentina?
It's like $26 billion or something like that.
Yeah, but we ain't got no money.
Yeah.
For us, we ain't got no money. Yeah. And all that shit he's doing to the White House, but we ain't got no money.
Yeah.
You know?
It's wild.
It's hella wild. I'm just like, what the heck? Did you see the little clips of the 60 Minutes interview? You didn't see? Well, like, he was being asked about, he got asked about the shutdown, and of course he blames it all on the Democrats. That's the Democrats' fault because they're the ones holding us in a shutdown, And so she asks him about the Affordable Care Act, you know, and he just says the same thing, that it's so expensive. And she's like, you've been telling us since, 2016 or whatever, that you have something else. Where it at?
Yeah.
And then just, you know, Trump old fashioned likes to like te enreda, and he says something else, changes the subject, but there's nothing in place. There's no solution. So it's like, I mean, what do you want us to do if you don't have a solution? What are you going to do? Just cut everybody off?
I think the clips are very deceiving because I watched segments of it. I didn't watch the whole thing. But, yeah, you see some of the clips and you're like, this is not the context behind which sucks.
Yeah.
Because even on his last 60, he brings up the last 60 minute that they did with Kamala, and they completely changed her answer. And you go back to the full version and you can see that. So, like, but when they clip it for the new 60 minute, they make it sound like he's lying, which is crazy. Like, but Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Like, if you can't base off clips just because they,
Yeah.
especially like the.
You know what's crazy? I was having this conversation with Grok yesterday.
Oh, God.
But
His new best friend.
I know we have the best conversations. So Trump will sue news, corporations and stuff for defamation or libel or for lies. Elon Musk owns one of the largest media companies now in X, and he accused Trump of being on the Epstein list. Like, straight up tweeted it.
He hasn't sued him?
He hasn't been sued.
Yeah.
Is that
¿Por
wild?
qué será? Porque sabe que Elon tiene dinero.
Maybe.
So he only goes after the ones he knows he can.
But those people have money too, like those corporations. And that's the crazy thing. And I think that's what's really dividing the conservatives is like the Charlie Kirk thing, the Israel issue, and then the Epstein files. Like all these things, we were going to be the most, what's the word, where you're transparent, and it's like, wait a minute, some of this, like.
So isn't that one of the other reasons too, like, while there's the shutdown, there's one Democratic, I can't remember what her name is, that she wasn't put into office and she was going to be the last one to vote on the Epstein files to be released. And until the shutdown until the government gets reopened, she can't go into office and can't vote. So therefore that's kind of holding that up too.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. I just know that, like, the Epstein files, if there are files and there is evidence, has probably been scrubbed a lot over the last few years. Both Democrats and Republicans have had access to them, and it's just wild that they're keeping it. But to me, it just tells me that what's in there it's not good for anybody, whatever side, whatever leaders. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I looked up a lot of things and now I don't even remember the first one.
Oh no.
But yeah, basically the shutdown is they pass like a bill for the funding, and the Democrats wanted to extend funding for the Affordable Care Act, and then the Republicans were like, no, like we just want this bill clean. We don't want to add more funding into it. We just want it, and they're like, well, we want this to be passed on. And they're like, no. So they couldn't agree on it. They ran out of funding. They shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically, in a nutshell, what happened. It doesn't say that it's anybody's fault. It's like they just didn't come to agreement because they didn't want to add that to the funding bill for the year. So.
People are pissed that the 8 Democrats are mad at the 8 Democrats that voted for it.
And the consequence for that is you get no funding for anything. So it's just a trickling effect. It's not because of someone. It's because they wanted to extend. And then actually Trump talked about the Affordable Care Act on the 60 Minute, and he mentioned that it's a terrible program.
Right.
And I guess we all know that, but they want to keep extending it. And so he
Okay,
says that
and then, but her question to him was, so what's your solution?
Right. And so
what you got, and what he say?
Said that they have a plan to come
He's
out with.
been had a fucking plan.
What I understood is like it's hard to why would they come up with a new plan if they keep extending it? And neither
They
parties.
keep extending it because there is no new plan. They haven't brought up this so-called plan. That's why she asked him, you've been saying that you have a plan since your first go around, right? Since you first presidential election. Where is it?
Well, you see, that's even the crazy.
And what did he say?
Like even the Democrats realize it's a terrible plan, but they're the one that brought it in.
Right.
And so like,
and I'm not arguing with you that that's not correct. You are correct.
mm-hmm.
But like Elias said, where's the solution? And don't just fucking tell me that you have a plan, but then you don't have anything to back it up.
Can't remember why is the reason, because there's a reason why they can't just to bring it up, but I can't remember. Okay, so this is what I think I remember. So on that Beautiful Bill Act that like nobody liked, there were some changes to it for that act, for the Affordable Care Act. but it wasn't a new structure. They just made new changes to it, which included ACA marketplace rules, and then significant changes to Medicaid. Like you said, they haven't changed anything. And then it says, like, why haven't they passed a new act? Because of the political division. What we know on everything, procedural barriers in Congress, even if the broad ideas agreement, the legislative rules, making sweeping changes difficult. Competing priorities. Congress and executives have made many demands, budgets, national security, economy, so healthcare reforms often get delayed or become smaller fixes. Cost and risk. Major healthcare reforms cost a lot, politically risky. Status quo, inertia, because they're already a big law. The Affordable Care Act in place. The path of least resistance is modified rather than replacing it. Damn. So that basically sums you up the government. They can't pass one because they can't get along, basically, which is kind of hard. But I do think if you already have, like, I don't explain it. If we've always known what happens with the shutdowns, and I forgot what his name is that he brought it up, which I feel like is pretty fair, is if they become into a shutdown, these people are still getting paid for not working.
I know, which is bullshit, which is like, oh, there's a government shutdown and all these workers are not getting paid, but yet they are.
Yeah.
They should be the ones not getting paid.
Yeah.
They're the public servants.
Exactly. Like, why are all these TSA workers? Why are all these, you know what I mean? Like, government companies, like, not getting paid, not getting funding, but yet these motherfuckers are the ones that caused all this shit. And I'm saying both sides, right?
Yeah, yep.
Like, why the fuck are they getting paid still?
I do agree. And I forgot what his name is, but they were trying to introduce something that if they're in shutdown, nobody gets paid until they resolve it. So,
which I do think,
or back pay, sorry.
I would say, I do believe that anybody that hasn't gotten paid should be getting back pay for sure, right? But
except that
I would say that when there is a government shutdown, it should be legit. Anybody in the government, in politics, should not be getting paid. That would trickle down to our local leaders too, and hopefully that would also spark a change, but it's not affecting them. It's not affecting the actual people that are in charge and are causing all this bullshit, and yet all these people that are working long hours and they don't have the same wages and they don't live the same lives that these fucking assholes do. It's like there's people that are struggling to make ends meet as it is, and then you're telling me they haven't gotten paid for a whole month, going on 2 months.
I think my perspective on that is, yes, I agree as well. They shouldn't be getting paid if they can't come to an agreement. So things like that don't happen. But I also think, and it maybe sound kind of dumb, but I feel like, for example, let's use the TSA workers as an example. If they're not getting paid, don't show up.
That's the thing, though.
And I get the whole, like, you have to go, and people are like, I have to go because then if not, no plane can take off. Sometimes I feel like you need stances like that to be able to make a huge impact. Well, I think that's why
I think people are using if they have PTO, if they have vacation hours, if they have sick time or whatever, they're using that in hopes that they will still get paid, right? But then at the same time, it's like, I'm sure there's people that have no other option. It's like, no, I can't. If I leave, I'm going to lose my job. So then it's like, I have to still stick to it and hope that the government will come back and then I'll get paid. Like, a lot of people don't have that privilege of just being like, pues me voy pa'l otro or whatever.
But if you're not getting paid,
yeah,
I don't know how that works. I don't know if everybody that works for the
what
government
if you were there for 10 years, You're just going to up and leave and go somewhere else?
If I'm not getting paid for a month, probably. It's hard because then you don't know.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's definitely hard, and I think that none of us can really speak on it because none of us are in those positions to where like we would have to make that, choice or decision. But I do think like for me, I think right now in this moment, if I worked at a job like that and I'm working paycheck to paycheck, yeah, to your point, I definitely would. But then it's like I said, if I'm there, if I'm tenure, and then I'm in a specific role or whatever, like, do I want to give up my position to start over somewhere else? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends, I guess. But I mean, it is hurting them, right? And I think they were saying that the last time there was a government shutdown, it came back because of the flights, because it started to affect even more and more, which we are seeing now again. I think, weren't they cutting like, was it 10%?
They were talking about, I saw
40%? No me
I
acuerdo.
think it was for American Airlines. They did a whole interview about it, and they were talking about how they were going to start reducing by. It didn't say that they started. It said they were going to start, or they were talking about reducing 10%, but nothing on the big airports.
I
This
think
is all
Delta,
small.
I saw the one with Delta, and they said, first and foremost, international flights have priority, so those won't be affected.
Yeah.
But once it trickles down to the very little ones, like we're talking like our regional airport, we might see some things,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's just crazy. And yet these motherfuckers got their fucking private jets and they're not even feeling it. Which is bullshit.
It's hard.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why? Like, all of us, like America, the country is feeling it. Trump's not fucking feeling it. He's over there having a fucking party, balling out and shit. O sea, he don't know.
What do you okay, so let's use an example of like, I want to use an example of Elon when he first bought Twitter and he let go of so many people just to make it efficient. What are your thoughts for something in government to do that? And I'm talking from every single level, from top to bottom. Just do like a spring clean out, like the efficiency. If we could make our country more efficient and save money to be becoming more efficient. And then the downside is obviously a ton of people that are not, like, you don't need in the system, let go. What is your thought on that? Like,
First and foremost, I would implement terms, and we've talked about this before. So anybody that's been there, I don't know, what's the longest term? Like 4 years or something like
usually
that?
every 4 years.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
think
then
2
I
and
would
4.
say anybody that has been there longer than 4 years, you're fucking out. Right? And then that would make it so that, too, we're saving money on these wages because these motherfuckers are making hella money. They've been there for years, So I would do that. Second, like we've talked about this again before, adding age restrictions. Like, if you've already hit this age, like, one, give them cognitive tests and stuff like that, But I think just even adding the 4-year term to all across the board, all of them, I think would already save us a ton of money right there.
Okay, and that's for the higher tier.
Yeah.
What about let's say, like, let's use for example the site. Let's just use it as an example. Like, we all know the story of some of people who know that work there and they don't do anything. They're watching Netflix all day.
Yeah.
And the amount of work they actually do. Do you think if the job can be done with one person instead of 3, do you think we should be efficient and compensate that one person that's doing their job great instead of having 2 other people that are just winging it by? I know it's a hard answer, but I'm talking about overall. Like, I'm not saying we're going to lose half of our workforce, but we're going to do something like Elon did. And you're like, you know what? We can do this job just as efficiently with a third less of the people. And this is through everything.
I think if you look at the government already, we're already spending more than we revenue we bring in. So I think it's important to shrink the size of the federal government to begin with anyways, just so it aligns with what we bring in, So I don't think it's should we do it. I think that's exactly what we should be doing, And I think Doge is still operating. I saw a tweet from them, I think yesterday, that they're canceled extra contracts. So like we're on the backside, we're trimming the fat, but I think a lot of the fat is too like, how big do we actually want the federal government to be? Which kind of brings me to like my next thing, and you kind of brought up 50-year mortgages. I kind of had a crazy idea that I think would solve the problem for all of that, but I have to win my presidential election in 5 years.
Well, at least one thing on the great news talking about sad and like hard things is Pelosi, after 150 years, she's finally retiring.
Damn straight.
That's crazy.
Years.
Okay, when you talk about terms, that's a lady. That's a lady that maybe shouldn't have been in office for 150 years.
Well, and not just that. Look at how much money she made insider trading.
There's
but
an app.
But they've all made hella money, and that's the thing. Weren't they talking about?
Hers
so
was like,
if you're in there, you're not allowed to do insider trading, right? Wasn't there something?
They're trying to pass a law that I think they're trying to call it the Nancy Pelosi law, but yeah, hers was like egregious. Like the amount she outperformed like all the major funds, but it was all based on her previous knowledge of,
Do you think we need? I'm trying to Bukele. You guys follow him and the stuff that he does in El Salvador? Like he came in, and Salvador was one of the top most dangerous countries in the world, and he came and turned it around and make it one of the safest places in the world. Like you guys need to look into his. A lot of people kind of say like dictatorship and stuff. Like I've seen articles like referencing him, but the guy genuinely, his whole mission was to turn the country around. And you're talking about Salvador with limited resources, not a lot of income coming in. Businesses didn't want to come into Salvador. So he basically locked up every single bad guy, and he's like, we're only going to feed them rice and water, and if they misbehave, they don't even get that. No beds, no nothing. Like they treated the El Salvador's jail system is one of probably the toughest jail systems in the world. And then he started, basically he promised something, and he would make it happen. He talked about the building in hospitals, bringing in businesses, like state of the art things, and he's doing it. And this is why people think kind of like the dictatorship, because he thinks he's going to be into office for a long time. But in a case like that, for example, like we looked south in Mexico, that's something that they may need. You're talking about some of the dangerous places. But do you guys think like here in the United States, we need someone like that actually like completely reforms everything we got going on, from crime to legislation to immigration to healthcare? Like, people are going to hate him, but I feel
think
like
that's what Trump was trying to do, but because of our constitution, he's not able to full on go dictatorship.
Yeah, because Bukele, one of the things he did is, like, for example, like we talked about just reducing political power. You guys really need to look into his stuff, but he basically, there's municipios, and then there's like a mayor, and then he has his team, and then he reduced significantly the amount of people in political power to, one, save them corruption, and to be able to have like bigger circles for each city. And that was one of the huge things off the bat that he did, is basically filter out unnecessary payroll, the way I saw it. And I'm like, just imagine how much we talk about the talks, or some of the points like Lisa made as she worked in city council, that a lot of these offices don't communicate between. So I'm like, what's the point? We're a town. Like, how are we not communicating with ourselves? Like, how's that divide? And I think, like, even starting small is, okay, if this office doesn't talk to this office, what's the issue? Like, why can't we make one and have a central thing? So do we need all these different offices? And I get, yes, but do we need them separate from each other? And then why can't they work together? You think they're like basics, but
yeah, I think that was one interesting thing about Doge, is when they'd go in and kind of see, like, wait a minute, why are we set up? Why is shit still in caves and in paper? But I think we just need to look at just the way the government just operates, what they run on, but it's interesting.
Also did look about funding. I know you mentioned like we send money, and I was curious to see how much it actually is, and it used is it the metaphor? Was that what do you call it? You have we make $100, and we send out $1. That's basically how much we're doing.
Yeah.
And it sounds huge because the media blows it up, and I've never had millions nor billions, but it sounds big. But it did say that we like the first quarter of 2025, we had in our checking account like 456 trillion, and I don't know if that's like an accurate number, but that's what kind of just to put things in perspective.
Yeah.
And then asset wise, they had a number for it, but I can't remember off the top of my head on how much assets we have. Sorry, I just want to do a shout out to Pelosi. Shout out to you. She was kind of hot back in the day. I don't know if you guys understand that. Sorry.
Oh my God.
But yeah.
Well, yeah, that was unexpected.
Iconic memory
I just think
of
at
hers
the
that
end of
she
the day,
wrote.
the government's just trying to get their bag and bringing back the 50-year mortgage.
Oh, yeah. We can
That's
go into
all
that.
it is. Honestly, for me, I think that's what it is. It's just the government saying, oh, it's to help you because your mortgage is going to be less and blah, blah, blah. No, they're going to make hella money on that shit. And for what? So you can save $200-$300 a month?
The government will only back the mortgages. They don't collect money on them. So it would be the banks and the
Banks would be getting loaded.
Yeah. But so here's my solution for that. I don't mind the idea of 50-year mortgages because you can leverage lower payments, but you don't want to live there for 50 years. But I think what we should do as a country is we should eliminate property taxes and have the government already backs the loans up. And we've already seen how sketchy banks can be back in 2008 when all that crash happened, right? Well, what if we just eliminated property taxes and the government funded mortgages at, let's just say 3% interest? Then all of that revenue from the interest would go directly to the local, cities and counties. Homeowners would pay less, and they could take whatever term they wanted out. But instead of paying a 7% rate, they're only paying 2 to 3% interest. There's no property taxes on the mortgage, so there's no PMI because the government now has it. It's not just backing it. It's like, hey, here it is. The government now has their money invested in American assets, right? Americans are able to get homes at an affordable rate. Now, everything that the government is involved in funding skyrockets in price. So when you look at colleges, when you look at healthcare, the government is involved in funding those, so it skyrockets in price. Yes, this would make property values skyrocket, but who owns properties? Americans. So at that point, we're skyrocketing in Americans' assets, and we're eliminating property tax. Now, if you pay off your mortgage, then you just pay regular property taxes instead of through your mortgage. But I think while you have the mortgage and it's
What are regular property taxes?
So just like what you have right now, like I don't know what's your home.
So if I own my house, if I still have a mortgage
You don't pay
on it,
property
I don't
tax.
pay property taxes. But then the moment I pay off my house, you want me to pay property taxes?
Yeah, because our local municipalities, schools, roads, and everything, they still need. That's where we get our money from, is from the local taxes. So the federal government doesn't, but the federal government will grant the mortgage. The payments are made to, I don't know that, but what that does is it allows our state and local governments to still generate the revenue that they need, but it also allows the homeowner. And you can't do this you wouldn't do this program with investors, right? But that would allow the homeowner to own a home, have a much lower payment.
So maybe that could just be a thing for FHA
Yeah,
and VA,
Make it for everybody.
or anybody, or it would only apply to the house that you're getting your homeowner's exemption on. How about that?
Yeah.
Because that's how you could really determine what place to give that to, because you couldn't really attach it to a specific loan type because there's people that get conventional and that's their primary, get VA, that's their primary, get FHA, and that's their primary.
Yeah.
You know.
And this is just numbers based on just it's a 1.1 tax rate, which could be high, but it works in some areas. Like on a $500,000 loan at 7% with a 1.1% tax rate, and PMI, the mortgage is $3,100 a month. Under this model, it'd go down to $1,600 a month. So people are saving money.
How does it go from 31 to
'Cause
16?
you don't have PMI, you don't have property tax, so you wouldn't have an escrow.
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
Yeah, but just the escrow part, the PMI, that's different.
PMI would be like, because the PMI is basically to back, because these are backed by like the government anyways.
Right, but the PMI, isn't it because you haven't reached a certain amount of equity?
Yeah.
So
That would be
how
eliminated.
how would
because
that
the
be?
government would own the property, and so you need the PMI because it needs a backing.
The backing is just for the middleman, so the bank can get their money. But if you cut the middleman out, on
That's
the
still
mortgage,
the math still doesn't
I think
add up.
16, but you're going off from a 7% to a 3% because it's
Okay.
models off of a 3%.
Yeah.
I don't know. 1,600 is like, I don't know how that number shrinks that much, but I could see how it drops.
Yeah, how did
Yeah.
it go from 7 to 3?
That's with a 1.1% tax rate too. So the tax rate on that is higher. That's saying that the $5,000 a year. So divide that by 12. That's, I mean,
It's like $400 some dollars.
Yeah. So, and then the difference in the interest rate. So that's how I would solve the affordability issue. Is I would have the government take on mortgages because they're basically putting a lien on a.
So essentially my house still belongs to the government until I paid off.
Yeah. Well, it'd be the same way. It belongs to you, but the government has a lien on it, just like a mortgage
Right.
does today. But like if you were to foreclose, it would have to go through the bank and all of that, where this would just foreclose through the government. But at that point, like it brings in revenue with interest and it adds more money in people's pockets every month. And right now, I think that would be a phenomenal solution. How many people do you think would refi their primary residence today at 3%,
At
with no
3%,
property
I would.
tax?
As long as if there's not, like, if it was a fixed 3% for the 30 years or 15 or 10,
Yeah.
whatever you want to do. And from there, like, I didn't get penalized to pay off my house early. Like, I don't have to
Yeah.
pay back anything on my taxes.
Yeah,
Like, I would definitely refinance in a heartbeat.
yeah.
But
And
then, sorry.
that makes 50-year mortgages more attractive to the government because then the government would make the money there. And for those people that just want to, like, imagine people right now that are trying to get approved, and for a $500,000 home, it's $3,000 a month versus, let's just say, $1,800 a month. It's like huge difference. But then we start inflating the assets versus liabilities because education and healthcare are unaffordable. Housing is unaffordable. But if you can get into a house and the values keep going up, it's like you're winning. You know what I mean? And then if it's paid off, then I don't mind just paying regular taxes how they are now, you know, because you're still contributing to your local municipality. But I think that's a solution that someone should be like, hey, what, that actually kind of, it's not a bad idea. Just cut out the middle, dude. And that's just your banks.
I think if a concept like what you just brought up was brought into, I don't think we need a 50-year mortgage because you're cutting out all the middlemen.
Yeah.
And so, like, even a 15-year loan starts seeming more attractive because
Yeah.
you don't have all the bullshit in the middle. You can go straight to the chase.
Yeah. It'll be attractive to the government.
Yeah.
Because you're still always going to have those people that, if I could save this $200 a month, I'll do it, you know. But to me, it's like doing it that way and eliminating property tax would be gold. And even if you kept it on there but lowered rates there, it would actually fund a lot more stuff for the local municipalities, like almost double what they make.
Yeah.
And you're still saving people a lot of money every month.
Yeah. I like that. Elias for mayor 2028.
Nah.
Don't you got to be 35
How old are
or
you?
45 to run for president?
Oh, we got to
Or
start
is it
small.
35 for president.
Let's start. You already have experience in president experience with the club. So we
Yeah.
just got to roll that into the next city mayor.
Yeah.
With the
I'd love-
club.
Yeah, with the soccer club.
But
President.
that's something that I think needs to be presented like on a federal level, because like if you think about it, like the only people who lose are the banks, but the banks have already sent us all to hell before. So like, and how many times has the government bailed out a bank?
All the time.
You know,
Do
I
we
don't
have
know.
a senator right here?
I think in a perfect world,
Yeah.
sure, but there's a
Yeah.
reason why it hasn't happened.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it would hurt a lot of people that
Yeah.
are higher up.
It hasn't happened because we've never had a COVID issue, and then we like 3% rates didn't ever really exist, and now we have a huge affordability issue. So if we really want to attack the affordability issue, here's your answer.
But you think about, for example, like people that with wealth, investors, people are putting these massive complexes. It's not in their best interest for people to be able to afford houses, nor is BlackRock. BlackRock
Yeah.
doesn't want you to own a house
Yeah,
just because if they own it, then you'll. And I think there's a big. I didn't really realize how much big of a jump there is from being able to afford a house and what you make. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of scary. And that's, I think, that itself is like a lot of jobs. One person even making $20 an hour is going to be hard to qualify for a decent home. And yes, you can find a home.
Already.
Yeah, but you're telling me that someone that works 40 hours a week making $20 an hour with a car payment is going to afford a $350,000 house? It's going to be pretty tough.
not today.
It is tough.
Yeah.
Right now, it's already tough.
And $350,000 buys you maybe what, a low end new home or an old, like not even that, right? Like
Yeah.
now you're looking at like mid 400s to buy something decent.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna buy like a really rundown house that you're wanting to fix. Like, yes, I get the entry level is like a lot like this, but even to jump into that house, like that's tough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I feel like your plan is great because it does give you that, but the downside is like a lot of people are not gonna be happy. And like, what's the saying? The shit falls down a certain way, like it always has. I think they will always have to take the side of the rich or
Yeah.
the people with influence.
Well, even with the rich people, if they want to buy apartments and stuff, they can still get 5% loans, 4% loans, because there's still always going to be people, even though you have a 3% home opportunity, like they're not
Yeah.
going to do it, you know? So,
That is also true.
but I just think it's a way to still helps the government, and it helps the people, and it's not, and you cut out the greed in the middle, which is the middleman, the lobbyist. Like the banks would say, don't do it,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh yeah,
But-
100%. If
Yeah.
you're like proposing something similar, I would, even though my wife gets great discounts at the bank because she works there, that's a way better in this moment. It's a way better offer
Yeah.
that I would do in a heartbeat.
Because
Like,
how
you know,
many banks make money on the origination and then when they sell it to somebody else? you
So there
know?
wouldn't even be closing costs, right?
There could be. So I would assume that whoever writes the papers is going to have to get paid something, you know?
So you'd have the third party even that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you did all in house, like, I mean, when you go to, I'm trying to think, let's just use an immigration office. It's a federal office, and they do all the paperwork for you there too. Like, so I imagine something like that, but for homes,
Yeah.
to send appraisals out, someone that works for the federal government, not a third party.
Yeah.
Damn, this thing smells corruption already.
Yeah.
Vetoed. I'm just
Damn.
kidding. No, but that was a good talk.
Yeah. That
I
was-
will let everybody. I want people to let us know. It'll probably just be Rod, but let us know what you think about. Because I really had a lot high hopes for Lisa, and I'm very shocked that Jeff outvoted her. So
Yeah.
I want to hear people's. I think the new re-election is going to be December 2nd. So hopefully there's a lot of noise between here and then.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll even go vote for Lisa.
Yeah.
And
Well,
They
that's
should adopt-
I guess that depends on. You got to see where your boundary is. If you are
Yeah, I'm
technically
very curious.
Iona, or if you
I
are.
think I'm Idaho Falls because I think the road right 45th, 49th,
Uh-huh.
that is Iona, and then I'm on this side of the road. But
Mm.
I'll double check.
We should
Yeah.
adopt a candidate and offer videography for them and just test it out and see if we help them win.
You know what I did notice talking about that? That not a single one of those candidates went up first to shake someone's hand. They waited for someone to come to them. I noticed off the bat. I was like,
There you go.
Dang.
oh, it's just courtesy. Anyway, sorry. That, and I want to know about the 50-year mortgages. Like, in your situation, would a 50-year mortgage help you?
Yeah.
And what do you think about Elias's plan?
Yeah.
Right?
I
Anything
like
else?
that. No, I got to pee real bad. So
Okay.
Thank you so much.
appreciate you guys. Catch you guys on the next one.